Check, 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 check. Oh my goodness. And here we go. Another episode, another late start. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for that delay. What the heck was going on with my camera that it would want to not recognize my computer? I don't know what was going on, but if I could give you guys any inspiration, it is Monday, top of the week. We are here finally live and in full effect, and I'm just glad to do a second stream. We've been putting in the work. We've been seeing the results. So thank you guys for coming back. We have plenty to talk about today. More Francis and Ngannou talk, of course. That's the hot topic of discussion. I have no idea how Trey feels about it. We'll have a debate on that. We'll also preview UFC 295 a bit more. Breaking news as far as this past week, we figured out that John Jones will not be fighting Stipe, and instead we're getting Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. So I will be sure to touch on that subject as well too. I can't almost talk English today, guys. I'm just making sure everything is working fine. Gonna send the link to Trey in a second. Trey, if you hear me out there, I'm gonna send it to your Discord through messaging, and we'll get right to it. The first one in chat today was Hollywood. Quite incredible. He beat Beta Quest to it. I mean, Beta, man, you got to step your game up. Jeez, I mean, you're going to let this man just take over like that? I mean, I thought I'd never see the day. Welcome to the stream, Hito. Welcome to the stream, Beta Quest, who constantly reminds me, even not verbally, he's just in the back of my mind now, where I got to start posting the community post, and that's thanks to Beta. Beta, welcome to the stream. Michael Max says, please accept my apology for you not calling the Ngannou Tyson. I had to listen to Bisping. Terrible. Sorry, bro. All good, man. All good. I wonder how you almost make me want to go back and see how Bisping called it and who he had winning. It'll be interesting to see on who he had, because again, wow, there's two of me. Because Bisping is a loose cannon, man. He's safe to say he's a loose cannon, and I'm really not sure what to expect on who he had winning. I didn't hear on what he had to say. Daniel Berry always coming through. What's up, Daniel Berry? Welcome to the stream. It's Hito much cheaper. Bro, you got to save every buck that you can. So I don't blame you. Can you kick yourself in your own ass, Miller? We're too far. I deserve that, guys. I deserve that. Guys, we are finally back, guys. Number one commentary channel on YouTube. Thank you to everybody that came by this morning. The numbers were great. We were like at 17, 18 viewers before even like leaving the stream, which is insane. So, man, I can't wait till we get to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 100s. And we're slowly but surely getting there. So thank you, guys. If I could offer any encouragement, is to attack the week as strong as you can. It's Monday. So let's say you had a decent day today. Stick to one goal. There's one task that you've been putting off. There's been one I don't know, goal that you just have been wanting to attack, whether it's working out, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's just eating good for one day, maybe it's fasting for one day, whatever the case might be. I encourage you guys to attack it, whether it's getting good sleep, getting to bed on time, and maybe I'm getting in the way of that. In that case, don't finish that goal and work on something else. But thank you for subscribing, Michael Mack. What's it called? But yes, guys, try to focus on one simple task, whether it's eating right, whether it's being healthy, whatever the case may be. Because me, as far as my situation goes, I just got to send this over to Trey. My biggest weakness right now is not even so much the diet, is the getting to bed on time. If I don't get to bed on time, what happens? Then I also don't get to work on content in the morning. Then I also just slack at the rest of my week. I don't get to spend enough time with the kids because then I'm trying to do content or vice versa. Basically, I'm a mess. And that is my problem when it comes to staying focused. But if I simply wake up early, if I simply get to bed on time, that means I can wake up early. That means I can just attack my week. And that is what I plan to do. So that's my goal for today. And that's the only encouragement I got for you guys. But without further ado, enough positivity. I mean, we need it, right? Maybe Trey's goal should be to have an attire that is visibly pleasing, because as of now he still hasn't been able to do so. But nonetheless, Trey's here. He has a full 5 minutes. His goatee still isn't connected. Here we go.
Here we go. Once again, Miller up here talking bull honky. Nobody even cares what he's saying. Hey, Miller, you want to address why you were 35 minutes late? I mean, I'm over here sitting about to fall asleep. Everybody's in here in the chat talking trash about you because you're late. Once again, this guy's never on time. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, let's get into it. The source is here, the king, the one who gets it done, Mr. Intel. Here to start your week off once again, to break the news to you, to tell you how it really is in the fight game, because nobody wants to tell it. This past Saturday, we had a boxing match that apparently everyone has been waiting on. Apparently, this was the fight of the century, the heavyweights, the big super fight that everybody has been wanting to see. Everybody's been waiting. Francis Ngannou, the UFC superstar, apparently. The guy who sells all these tickets, apparently. The guy who has freaking noodle knees, can barely stand up, and that's really why he's not in the UFC anymore.
Oh, God. Here we go.
He's got Todd Gurley barbecue knees. This guy that everybody hyped up. Everyone wanted to bash Dana about it. Everyone wanted to talk about, why won't Dana make the fight? Ariel Helwani, the cornball, wants to talk about Dana every single day because he has nothing else to talk about. And this superstar is supposed to come in and take on, arguably, the best heavyweight in boxing in history. The most unorthodox. The big cornball of boxing. The Gypsy King. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of him, to be real. His dad kind of gets on my nerves, if I'm being honest. Tommy, not a real big fan of Tommy and all that. Tyson, every time he grabs the mic and sings, it makes me sick to my stomach. Okay, nobody wants to hear that, pal. Okay, put the mic up. Stop handing him the freaking mic at the end of fights and letting him sing. Anyways, this big super fight that everybody hyped up and said was going to be the one. The fight of the century. They go to Abu Dhabi. They have all the stars. All the boxing legends watching. Ronaldo. Everybody sitting there. And that's the performance they put out. And that's what us as fans who have been hyping this up the whole time, wanting to see this the whole time, waiting in the rafters, that's the fight they put up. Even the knockdown, I look at it, I'm like, it almost just looks like they needed it because nothing was going on. It was an awful fight. It was boring as heck, and it looks like, hey, let's just get a knockdown here to get the fans going because we have nothing going. That's the weakest knockdown I've ever seen Tyson get hit with in my entire life. Now, of course, we're going to have the cornball and the fanboys come in here talking about, well, Ngannou has the heavy hands. You know, he's got the heavy. Come on, pal. You think Ngannou's hitting harder than Deontay Wilder?
Yeah.
Do we really believe that? The guy's technique looked pitiful out there. He could barely stand up on his noodle knees. They was almost clacking together every time he bounced. That fight was pitiful. So pitiful that they start making rumors. They start trying to push the narrative that Francis Ngannou got robbed. Francis Ngannou got robbed against the best heavyweight in history because he got a knockdown? Besides the knockdown, he did absolutely nothing out there. He was bouncing around. Honestly, the way they were bouncing around. The fight was awful. And Dana looks correct once again. Dana looks like he made the right business decision once again. Because you're telling me that's what we waited for? That's the big fight Francis is wanting? That's what he does? A fake knockdown? A weak fake knockdown doesn't even land? Now, if we're going to call Jake Paul's fights rigged, if we're going to talk about how all those are flops, let's talk about that flop right there, because that I could have hit him that hard. And I'm telling you, Tyson's going to be fine. And he stood up immediately. He did wide-eyed. He wide-eyed just to sell it a little bit. He stood up immediately. He was fine. But it makes me sick that this is what we hyped up and pushed, and then everybody acts like this was the big fight. This fight absolutely sucked.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Another Trash Talk Monday. We are back with our co-host, Trey Melton. Trey, it's great to have you here. You have been on for what, 3 weeks in a row?
I don't know. I built this channel from the ground up, so I would say I'm here from the start, really.
But as far as then you took a break to play miniature golf a bit, and you've been out for a while. You've acquired some new shades. I'll give you credit. But I think it's been 3 weeks in a row, so I commend you. 1 out of 10, Francis Ngannou Fury. I would give it a 7. Out of 10. So before I defend my reasons why, maybe I might even push it to an 8. But let's hear your rank and why.
Wait. First of all, the fight was a 4. The fight was a 4. The knockdown round, the round he knocked him down was a 6. Not even a 9 or 10. It was awful. The fight sucked. It was a fake net. Miller, do you think Tyson really would get knocked down by that weak of a punch? Honestly, that punch barely landed. It was soft. There was some Charmin Ultra Pillow. Now, here's what I want to ask before you go down into it, okay? Before you get into your reasoning, which is probably going to make no sense, which is probably not going to add up at all. You know, it happens every week.
Yeah, sure.
Can I just get another example of a 7 or 8 rank, out of 10 fight? Can you just give me another? Because I just want to see if you're as dumb as I think you are. If I'm being real, I mean, this is embarrassing. A 7 or 8? Come on, pal.
Okay, so 7 out of 10, I would rank it. I say an 8 out of 10 would be a Sean Strickland versus Adesanya. Might be an 8 out of 10. Nobody wants to see that fight again, right? It doesn't really have much replay value, but as far as watching it live, I was entertained, especially when you heard him in the first round. You're like, oh, what happens next? And then the rest of the fight was somewhat of a snoozer.
So was Aljo and Sean? Would you say that was a 10?
I would give that like a maybe a 9.1 out of 10. Yeah, maybe a 9.1.
So
9.4,
you're telling me
maybe
that Sean and Aljo's fight is only 1.1 or 1.5 in that range points better than this past boxing fight? That's what you're telling me.
it would be 2 because I said 7 out of 10. So this would be like a.
You said you might push it to 8.
Yeah, but I didn't. I said I might.
Yeah, because you're backtracking because you know how dumb it sounds right now. Anyways, go ahead.
The reason why is because the implications behind it. Trey, let's be honest. I mean, I sound like a broken record. How many people gave Ngannou a chance? You didn't. Am I correct? You thought he was going to look awful out there. Most people did.
I didn't give him a chance, and yes, I was correct actually because he lost the fight.
Yeah, anyway. 2 judges had it 95-94, 1 for Ngannou, 1 for Fury. He made it way more competitive. And listen, Trey, this is my point that I want to this is the hill I'll die on. It doesn't even matter what we rank this fight. It could be a 1 out of 10. I don't care as far as pay-per-view sales and all that. Now, what Ngannou did was he laid out the groundwork. The next fight, everyone is going to watch. I have no doubts. Whether it's Wilder or Joshua, we're going to order it. We're going to order it. You tell me people don't want to see Ngannou back in the ring?
We're not. Because nobody cares about this guy. Everything that happened is exactly what people who are smart and know fighting happened.
No, that's you think
Tyson
most
sold,
people thought it was going to be
Tyson sold.
close?
Listen, let's be honest. Boxing is Vegas' sport. Tyson sold a knockdown because nobody was watching that fight. Nobody bought it. Nobody cares to watch Ngannou. Nobody cares if he goes fights Deontay. Nobody cares if he goes fights Joshua. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna Miller. It ain't even gonna be. It's not even gonna sniff what these pay-per-view buys were, and I bet these pay-per-view buys were trash. It probably didn't even do better than some of the Jake Paul cards.
How many pay-per-view buys you're thinking? 2, 3, 4, 500? What are you thinking? Because I'll tell you what is projected to do.
I would say. What's projected?
As far as when we get the results back, what do you think Ngannou and Tyson Fury sold?
They're easily under 500K. Easily, way under.
Okay, so what do you mean by way under? And can someone give me the stats on that?
I would say 150 to 270.
I believe, I could be mistaken, I think it's around 400. I believe it's like north of 350, 400. And if that's the case, I will tell you this. If that is the case, his very next fight, if it's Wilder or Joshua, I would assume it doubles it. I would make bets with you, but we know you don't pay.
Why?
Because people,
I don't owe a daggum thing, so watch your mouth. And why would people want to watch that fight more than they wanted to watch Tyson? This was supposed to be the mega fight, the biggest fight ever.
You're
telling me the next one's going to be bigger.
He just won a full 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. And he made it debatable when most, I would say 99% of people thought that wouldn't happen. And for that very reason, now we start talking about Wilder and Ngannou. I could build that fight if you want me to, as far as you, the zone hires me, whatever the case may be. That's the easiest fight to sell. The two hardest punches in the world, throw them in a ring, see what happens. A little undercard, maybe a Jake Paul versus who knows who, KSI. You got over 1 million buys right there. Jake Paul, KSI, and Ngannou Wilder, over 1 million buys. Easily. No question.
Take it in. Y'all just take it in. How sad, listen to the card he's building. How sad is that where we're at in boxing now? That's bad
that's a great card. That's a great card.
No, it's not. Nobody cares to see KSI box just as much as nobody cares to see Francis box.
Another point, Trey, that I think we're failing to realize, Wilder versus Francis, make it happen, says Wendy, and it's estimated 500K. Trey, let me tell you this. This is bigger than just what we saw. This is great. You know what this is great for? This is great for the sport of MMA. What happened this past Saturday, it maybe unlocks the door for people to get paid, for fighters to have a chance outside of the UFC. Oh, you don't get a contract there, there might be another future. Before this fight, I remember you and others saying Francis fumbled the bag. Do you still talk to me here? Did he fumble the bag?
Congratulations on your one-off, which is exactly what I said it would be. Every fight, Miller.
You seriously believe that?
No. Let me ask you something. For real. How Ngannou's like 34, 35.
Okay, right. Not that bad for heavyweight.
How many more fights do you think he has?
Easily 3, perhaps 5, maybe more. Hasn't taken that much damage in his career, but he could do. I could see him do 2 to 3 in boxing, 2 to 3 in MMA.
Okay. And, how many of those are going to be for the belt?
In boxing?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it.
Yes, it does, because that's what matters. See, this is the problem with people, bro. This is the problem with people these days. It's people like you Philly folk, that do this. Y'all care about money more than the legacy and respect and what fighting is really about. Fighting is about being a champion, being the one, being the best to ever do it, being the actual guy, having the belt, walking down. That's what fighting is. It's about pride. It's about building a legacy, not about your little paychecks you get. If you're really that nice like you say you are, if you're really the one, if you're really the king, if you're really the champ, you'll get paid.
How hypocritical this sounds.
But guess what? Nobody wants to watch you because you don't sell fights, so nobody's paying for it. You're not that guy.
It astounds me. If you really believe in what you're saying yourself, it's fascinating. because there was a point that you were saying Francis fumbled the bag. He will never make as much money as he could have in the UFC. Now he's potentially making 2 to 3 times as much. Now if he fights Wilder, if he fights Joshua, in these 2 fights alone, he'll make I don't know, 2 times more than what he made in the UFC.
And he'll be a nobody. Got nothing to his name but money.
I
Got
can't.
nothing to his name but money. Congrats.
I would say he elevated his legacy after what he did to Fury. He did what no other MMA fighter has done. Go across the sport, go to boxing, and made it a debatable. And now there's so much money after him, for him in the PFL or boxing.
Miller, listen to me right now, and I want everybody to really hear me when I say this, whoever's in here.
And both of Fury's
Conor,
got yep.
Conor and Floyd was a closer fight than Francis.
This is
Tyson.
painful. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. That was ended by a knockout, Trey. How is that closer?
And the fight was closer.
This guy is down bad. You're that much of a Francis Ngannou hater.
Listen, this guy is he's a nope Miller.
Hate isn't good, bro. This is bad.
Congrats if you got money, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Everybody.
What you thought he wouldn't get, right? Can we be honest?
Miller, I don't care. The point is it's a one-off. Like I said, if he wanted to really make money and build a legacy and be a fighter and have a champion like what fighting is all about, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Nobody gets into fighting for money. Nobody's like, let me go make some money fighting. No, they want to build a champion. They have pride to them. They want to be a warrior. They have that spirit to them where it's like, hey, I'm going to be the baddest man on the planet. I'm taking anybody out that steps in front of me. That's what fighting's about. Not about making money. The money comes. If you're nice, if you're a star, if you can sell tickets, the money will be there.
There was no chance for him to make as much money in the UFC as he will now. And the beautiful thing about this is checkers, not chess. Do you remember a time where fans like yourself were saying 2 things? 1, Francis fumbled the bag. And 2, one of the big
he fumbled the legacy too.
One of the big arguments was, you might believe this, which at this point I wouldn't be surprised. They thought he was scared of John Jones. Did you hear Francis Ngannou's recent statement?
No.
He said, "Listen, they said I was scared of John Jones. Let's do a cross promotion, UFC, PFL. Let's run it, John Jones and me, or I'll fight Stipe, whoever." He's still he's still the,
you know why?
He's the baddest man on the he's the baddest man on the planet. We got to give him that title.
He's not the baddest man on the planet.
Who
he
is?
Just lost. He just lost.
Who's the baddest man on the planet?
John Jones is the baddest man on the planet. He don't lose. He actually don't lose.
Let me guess. He arguably lost to Dominic Reyes. Thiago Santos was close. When's the last really good John Jones performance where you saw him in the octagon and you said, you know what, that guy's good?
He sat Cyril Gahn down like a baby and tucked him into the fence. What do you mean?
He's focused more on his FIFA team on Xbox than he is fighting. Yeah, he's not who we thought he was. He's not who we thought he was.
And he can still dog everybody who steps in. Listen, you know what,
who beat Cyril Gahn too on one knee? Oh, surprisingly, Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, and was that not Cyril Gahn's worst fight? Was not the worst he's ever looked? Where everybody was like, "What the heck happened to Cyril? He didn't even look like the same fighter." It wasn't nothing. Francis was getting accidental takedowns.
He looked worse against John Jones because he just bended his knee. He just said, "You know what? Here's my neck. Choke me out."
Yeah, because John Jones sunned him. What do you mean?
Which, to be honest, I know it might sound crazy. John Jones didn't even look that spectacular to me in that fight. He looked a little slow with his hands, with his reaction time. I think perhaps Francis Ngannou watches him. To me, Francis Ngannou is still the baddest man on the planet. In a fair fight, toe-to-toe, parking lot, Francis Ngannou.
He was never the baddest man on the planet. He was never the baddest man on the planet. Here's what you need to realize. Talking about money in the bag and all. Did he fumble the bag? Do you know why he's still calling out these guys in the UFC, trying to get a cross promotion, trying to sell this huge fight? Because PFL can't pay him no money. He ain't making no money over at PFL. They don't have it. That's why he's trying to do all these big fights. That's why he's going to have to fight Anthony Joshua, do all this stuff, to do anything he can to try and make a buck, because he don't move nothing. He's got to get the bigger name. He's got to fight the bigger person because he ain't moving the bill.
if it's about the money, in this one fight alone against Fury, he made what he would have made in the UFC in about 5 to 6 fights. So he won the money aspect.
Miller,
But if you want to take it further, he's going to make even more.
You're a sellout.
Okay,
it ain't about the money. It's a one-off.
So going 10 rounds, having a debatable split decision loss is not good for your legacy against the greatest heavyweight in the world right now? That's not good for your legacy? MMA fighters themselves are saying it's good for his legacy.
This is what I'm saying. You got that loser mentality. What loss is good for your legacy? Point me to that one. Who says that? Yeah, this one was great for my legacy. I lost this one. Who says that, bro?
It's unique because he did it in a different sport. At the end of the day, he vacated the title as far as heavyweight in the UFC. So he's still the baddest man on the planet.
Miller,
he's not the baddest. He just went to go get a check.
He's going to have to fight bigger names forever because he don't move the bill. Let him fight a nobody. Let him fight somebody who's up and coming. Let him fight my boy Michael the Bounty Hunter. He's high ranked in the boxing. He's a heavyweight. Let him do that. Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody cares to watch it. Nobody wants to see him. And even you're being like, why would he do? Exactly. Because nobody wants to see it. Why would he do that? He's going to have to fight the bigger guy. He's going to have to fight somebody who's going to move the bill because he don't sell the tickets. He don't sell them.
People want to see Ngannou versus Joshua or Ngannou versus Wilder. That is a fact, Trey.
Who's saying that? Arrow Hawani, congratulations. That's just a cornball.
Who's not saying that? Everybody wants to see Ngannou.
Everyone's not saying it. I ain't seen one person in the chat talking about, oh, let's see Francis and Joshua. Nobody cares. If he fights again, cool. If he doesn't, nobody's going to be like, man, I'm missing Francis right now. I would love to see him fight right about now. No one cares.
Ngannou versus Wilder is going to maybe perhaps double what Fury and Ngannou did. It's a big fight. Trey, if the sad reality about this is that if you were Francis Ngannou, you would have done the same. I would have done the same. Anybody would have done the same. To be bashed by the president of the UFC and you still come out on top? That's a storybook ending.
Come out on top? In what way? Bro, do you hear what he lost? What did he come out on top of? He's a loser.
Gilbert Burns versus Hamza Chimaev. Yes, Gilbert Burns lost, but he gained the respect of the fans. He gained
analogies because he can't actually answer the question.
He gained the respect of the fans. Now Fury versus Ngannou. Ngannou, nobody thought that he would do well against Fury. They thought he was just in it for a money grab. He went in there to win.
Miller,
he went in there to win, and it was debatable.
Nobody thought Francis was going to go in there and get knocked out. Nobody thought that.
People thought he was going to lose decisively. I think that's fair to say, no?
Did he?
No, he didn't lose decisively. It was a split decision loss. And the majority of fans thought that he won. And Trey, don't be Hollywood because there's fights that you're like, oh, this guy won that fight although it went the other way. We know the judges could screw things up. The judges screwed this one up.
No, they did. In what way, Miller? He wasn't doing anything besides the knockdown. He didn't do nothing, dude.
Scored a knockdown in the third. The CompuBox numbers were really close, so there was no 7 clear rounds that Tyson Fury won that a judge gave him. It was a close fight. Granted, Fury may have looked a little sloppy. Maybe he didn't prepare for this fight as much as he should have. At the end of the day, that's not Francis Ngannou's fault. To go in there against the best heavyweight in the world right now and make it debatable is a win in itself. That's a win. That's a huge win.
Here's my thing. I don't even know if Tyson took this fight seriously. He didn't even look like he was just lollygagging. I doubt he barely trained for this guy. I doubt he barely did what he did for the actual real boxers. I bet his camp for Deontay Wilder was way tougher, way harder, way longer, way more intense than it was for. He didn't take Francis serious. He didn't take him serious. He just went in there and did his technique and knew what he did to do, and he still beat him. That's what I'm saying, bro. And the next person that fights Francis, if anybody even wants to take the fight, let's keep that in mind. They got to want to have the fight.
Do you?
They're gonna go. Wait. Then they're going to go in there and do the same thing. They're going to take their camp more serious because they're going to be like, oh, maybe Francis is good. He's not because Tyson didn't take it serious. And then they're going to go in there and Bro, let Deontay Wilder get in the ring with Francis. He really might get knocked out. I'm dead serious. Francis has never, ever, even with Tyson, ever been hit with a punch like Deontay Wilder. I can promise you that much. There
Francis
is
and
levels.
listen, I don't want to sound blasphemous, Trey, but let me be honest. Francis Ngannou might have the best chin in the world. This guy got hit with a clean elbow on the chin by Tyson Fury. You saw what Fury has done to Wilder. A clean elbow, and the guy didn't even flinch. So if Wilder can't get Ngannou out of there, I would even dare say Wilder's only chance to beat Ngannou is by knockout. Ngannou has a multitude of ways to beat Wilder. He can win by knockout. He can outpoint Wilder even. It's a winnable fight.
Oh, dude.
It's a winnable fight.
Listen, let's just make a
baddest
note.
man on the planet.
Let's make a note right here. Delete that comment you just said immediately. The best chin on the planet. Are we being serious right now? Are we being serious right now, Miller?
When have we? When have we seen?
Believe that?
When have we seen him just
crazy?
He got hit. Did you see the elbow? I don't know if you saw the elbow. It was bad.
I don't care. He's got hit with the elbows before. That don't mean he has the best chin in the world. Are we being serious right now?
Got hit by. I mean, who has a better chin than him? It's a debate.
You about to make me get lightheaded. I'm getting so pissed right now that you would even say that. That is laughable that you would even. Francis has been knocked down before, maybe even knocked out before in the UFC,
and gotten back up. Who has he got knocked down by? Actually, now that I think
about it. So what does that mean?
So
I think it was early. It was early in his career, I believe.
Okay, so his chin is reinvigorated. At the end of the day, he got hit with a bomb of an elbow. He went against Fury. Fury knocked down Wilder a multitude of times, and Ngannou wasn't even hurt once. That's all I'm gonna say. He wasn't hurt once. Now let's talk a little bit.
He didn't take him serious. I'm just telling you. He took Deontay Wilder's fight. He was in better shape, was way more serious and more intense camp than he did with Francis. He didn't take Francis. Bro, he probably barely ran to come fight Francis. He looked like he got up off the couch and came and fought him.
Mike Dornan says, for Trey to say Ngannou hasn't won in this situation, regardless of decision, is crazy. Just getting the knockdown and surviving 10 rounds was impressive. To do that as the MMA guy is easily, I think is just, I don't know, irrational to think is not impressive.
Can we stop saying the MMA guy? This guy was nothing but a boxer in the UFC. He couldn't do a daggum thing but throw hands. So please stop calling him an MMA guy and acting like he was some spectacular mixed martial artist. Anytime he went to the ground, it was because he fell or got taken down.
I mean, it's unfortunate, Trey, I'll be honest, that we didn't get to see Ngannou continue in the UFC. Because what he did against Cyril Gane, to me, there's a reason why they call him Francis and Khabib. He started implementing takedowns in his fighting. He started implementing Who knows how much he would have improved on one knee.
Just like nobody calls you the Hispanic Helwani, nobody calls him that, dog. And the fact that you would even disrespect Khabib like that, who's actually a legend in the sport, who actually has a real legacy, who didn't sell out, who could actually sell pay-per-views and make money and came up great in the UFC. That is so disrespectful. You would even do that.
Let's move on to. We're gonna continue to talk about Ngannou a little more, guys. It's just a hot topic of discussion. We got to talk about it. I'm sorry that Trey's a little bit off on this one.
No, this guy's talking crazy right now.
I think I'm just speaking facts, but let's speak some more facts. Ngannou versus Wilder, who seriously wins? I'll tell you right now, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Ngannou, Wilder, 50-50. Now, if I had a gun to my head right now and you say, listen, pick on who's gonna win, your life depends on it. I almost sound like Max Keller. I'm going Iguodala, but anyways, I'm going Ngannou. If my life depended on it, he has multiple ways of winning. Wilder has been hurt before as well too, been knocked out cold. Ngannou hasn't. Ngannou looked great against Fury. Ngannou is naturally a big guy. He looked pretty even with Fury. I would argue Ngannou has a great chance. And if I had a gun to my head, I'm just saying, if I had a gun to my head, I would probably pick Ngannou. Trey, who would you pick?
Well, the only thing your answer tells me really is you don't value your life that much. Honestly, if they were to get in the ring, I'm telling you right now, within 6 rounds, Francis would have already been knocked down one time. He has never in his entire career ever felt the power that Deontay Wilder would have when he packs a punch across his face. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to feel worse than Tyson's elbow fall. Tyson's a great technical boxer. He's awkward. He's just like always moving around, doing weird crap, great head movement and everything. Deontay Wilder is going to stand there and absolutely bang with Francis, and we all know he's going to land because he lands every time he steps in the ring, and he is going to drop Francis off, and it's going to make your horrible take that you have, which was new. I mean, it's Monday. You have about 18 of them on Monday because you do 2 podcasts, and you're always saying bad ones. He's going to knock him out and knock that silly little chin off that you think is the best in the world. It's absolutely laughable. He would disrespect him in that ring. I promise you right now, Deontay Wilder will knock him out.
Trey, let me educate you a little bit because I know you're a little bit far removed from the sport of boxing. It's obvious. It's glaring. For one, you said nobody's going to be interested in that Ngannou fight. Wilder has said it himself that he's very interested in this fight, and he would even go as far as Wilder has himself said, "Come to my backyard, that is boxing. We'll settle that, and then I'll go to your world." And he's dead serious about it. He's been interviewed and has said that repeatedly. That's one. Number 2, Wilder's is predictable. If he doesn't land that right hand, he doesn't win. It's that simple, as crazy as it is to say. Now, granted, if he finds Ngannou's chin, I will be scared. I'll give you that. But remember, Ngannou's used to being hit by people with small gloves. Wilder's not that big. Wilder's not that big.
It's a difference in power, dog. It's a whole different level of power. It doesn't matter about the ounces when you're getting hit with Deontay Wilder.
Fury got up.
He's going to drop you off.
I mean, who's Wilder's
best to win? Arguably the best. You're talking about arguably the best heavyweight in the world, though.
Wilder has knockout wins against people you can't even name. Tell me good names that Wilder has knocked out.
Miller, that's why boxing is awful. That's why it sucks. They fight nobodies for 50 fights. And
so
the last fight of their career, they'll fight somebody. That's why it's awful. That's why it holds zero weight anymore.
So there's
no big fights anymore besides like 2 or 3 a year.
So to add to your point, then I guess it's safe to say it's inflated that or it could be inflated Wilder's power. We might be overestimating it. Is that safe to say?
What?
His power.
We
he beat Luis Ortiz as like 47. Helenius that has been knocked out like 3 times before that.
Or it was a dead body in the ring.
When it came to Fury got back up, and not only got back up in the first fight, then beat him the next 2 fights.
Undertaker in that fight, dog. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. You didn't even think he was getting up when he got like that.
Nobody did. Just like nobody thought Ngannou was gonna make it a close fight, and just like nobody thought it was gonna be a close fight, nobody might not see Ngannou.
I'm about to hang up on this. I'm about to hang up on this show.
Are you? Ngannou has a real chance. Ngannou has a real chance.
I was done talking about this bum when he left the UFC. I'm done talking about him. He sucked. He lost, and you're over here hyping him up.
Serious question.
Did something great, Miller.
He did.
Awful. He lost. He lost.
Serious question.
What? He's going to get in the ring. He's going to lose again to Deontay Wilder. And then guess what? Maybe Joshua takes the fight because he's like, oh, wow, this is easy pickings. I can get some money here. And then he's going to knock him out. This dude is awful. Get the noodle knees out. I'm done talking about this guy. He sucks.
All right, we'll be done after this one question. I just have one question, and I'm so serious. Why are you so mad at Ngannou? Like I'm done
talking about this guy. You're talking about he has the best chin in the world. He should be like, this should be some magical moment for him because he lost to the best. But he lost. That ends there. There's nothing after that. He lost.
That's unfair because so many people are raving about his performance. But back to my original, I need to know. The people need to know why. Because I don't get it. Most people, they could say, okay, Ngannou maybe shouldn't have left, this and that. I understand. But people are proud of him. You're like one of the first ones that's like upset at Ngannou for not only leaving, then you're upset that he had a close fight. Why are you mad?
He didn't have a close fight.
Right. He did. He did.
He lost.
Okay, so Trey, back to my original question. Serious question. Can you just guide me through, like, where did Ngannou go wrong? Why are you mad at him? Why?
Talking about this self-centered, I deserve this. You don't deserve nothing. You want to talk about beating Who did he beat in the UFC that has some credit to him?
Stipe Cyril Gane.
Stipe is awful, bro. Stipe should not even be fighting in the UFC anymore. Cyril Gane got sit down like a child.
Okay.
He got sit down like a child. He had his worst fight ever against Francis. What has Francis done? Why does he deserve? He don't deserve a daggum thing. He hasn't done nothing.
The Overeem knockout was one of the most memorable knockouts in UFC history. That's one. He beat Stipe. He beat the up-and-coming prospect in Cyril Gane. He beat Rosenstrike, Dos Anjos. He beat Cain Velasquez by KO.
Name the guys.
He beats Curtis Blades by knockout.
What? Curtis Blades, he sucks. He can't do nothing but lay on the ground with people. I cannot keep doing. What are we talking about right now? I'm actually pissed right now. This is crazy that you would even speak like this about this guy still. He's a nobody.
So
he lost. He sucks.
I'll let it go. I'll let it go. I promise I will. But just I need to know exactly what it is. What is it about Ngannou that you're so mad about? Because you still haven't really
don't deserve a daggum thing, and then he sits up there and holds the heavyweight, causes all these problems in the UFC, does all this crap. Hypes up the biggest fight, talking about this could be the biggest fight in the world, has a boring, awful fight, and then people still want to talk about this is he's the next guy, best chin in the world. What are we talking about? Oh,
that's what got you.
Here?
That's what got you. There it is. There it is.
He's got noodle knees. He sucks. He sucks. He lost.
What is it about the noodle knees that you're raving about?
Miller, there's a reason he went to boxing. The dude can barely stand up in MMA anymore. He's never been good at MMA. When he was in the UFC, all he did was stand up and box. He never went to the ground. He never had any grappling. He never had any of that.
Why would he go to the ground when you're one of the most fierce punchers in the world? I mean, he's just playing to his strengths.
Why would you stay in the sport when you can't really fight MMA and you're just a boxer?
And
exactly. That's why he's gone.
If anything, he showed grit. Against Cyril Gane was one of the best performances I've ever seen. His legs were hurt. He was tired. He did something he's never done before. He said, you know what? I'm going to grapple this guy. And he was successful. And when the fight was 2-2 going into the fifth,
accidental takedowns, Miller. That wasn't even real takedowns. He was accidentally scooping his leg and just laying on. Miller, I don't even care about Cyril Gane in that fight. That's the worst fight I've ever seen Cyril have to this date. To this date, I've never seen him go. I think the John Jones fight is worse. I think
John Jones is worse.
Because John Jones is like that and just absolutely shut him down because that's what John Jones does, bro.
No, he's not. Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT. This dude's slow. I mean, he is a little bit slow. Listen, I honestly didn't plan that you would be this upset at Ngannou. My last comments
I'm not upset at Ngannou. He don't control my emotions, dog. So quit saying that. I'm not upset at him.
It seems like you're a little bit bothered.
I don't care about him, dog. That's what I'm saying. I'm done talking about him. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
It sounds like you do.
He's a loser. Until he shows me that he can actually do something, I don't care to talk about him.
What would he do that would impress you? Come back to the UFC for peanuts?
When? Stop running from the big fight with John Jones.
You understand that Dana White accused John Jones of running that fight. That's a narrative that you just bought. It's not true. And he's calling him out. If John Jones wants to come to the PFL and they could do a cross promotion, Francis will do that fight. And
nobody wants to do that, Miller. That's just UFC carrying PFL for absolutely no reason. That's UFC carrying Francis as they did for however many years he was in the UFC, trying to push him, trying to help him sell some pay-per-views. Couldn't do it.
And he kept winning.
Nobody cares.
And he kept winning.
I guess.
He wasn't supposed to beat Gane, and he won.
He wasn't?
He wasn't supposed to beat Gane.
What? He was favored in the fight.
The UFC was wishing that Gane would get the job done, and Ngannou needed more time to heal his knee.
He wasn't supposed to beat him.
He came in with a bad knee, 2-2 going into the fifth, and he gets the job done. He's the baddest man on the planet. And if you want to take it a step further, if John Jones and Ngannou ever fought, we just gotta just one more thing about Ngannou and John Jones. If they were to ever fight at heavyweight, remember this is heavyweight, not light heavyweight. Francis Ngannou versus John Jones at both of their careers at this point. I might have to go Ngannou as well too. John Jones is aging a
I'm
bit.
done. What are we, bro?
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you talk about this guy anymore. Are you just like, why are you just pushing it? You just trying to name guys that you think Francis? No, he wouldn't. I'm sorry. No, he wouldn't.
We,
John
we
Jones would absolutely dog him pitifully.
we could talk about other heavyweights too, since we were supposed to, guys. Breaking news, sort of. Aspinall, Sergey Pavlovich, they're fighting each other at UFC 295 because John Jones pulled a little muscle on the shoulder. He kind of stretched a little bit too hard. He hurt himself. Maybe it's because he can't use certain things that you're not supposed to use in the UFC. I don't know. But John Jones is out, Aspinall is in, and Sergey Pavlovich. Early predictions, Trey, talk to me.
First of all, let me just say I hate this. If John Jones is out for 8 months,
So you like John
least,
Jones versus Stipe? That you wanted that fight?
that's the fight I said a year ago that he should come back to. That should have been his comeback fight.
You were just bad mouthing Stipe. I mean, that's why I ask. I'm sorry. I'm
Miller,
sorry for asking, but
because let's get Stipe out of here. We need one more butt whooping for him to go do some firefighting for the rest of his life. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. You just don't understand the fight game. You think it's all about that. Bruh, sometimes we got to get guys out of here. Stipe has a name to him. He's arguably the best heavyweight in the UFC in the history of it. So, I mean, that's the fight. That was the fight to have come back to. Now, bruh, Stipe could retire for all I care. Nobody cares to watch him. John Jones will tell the fight, though. Just like he always does. Here's what I'll say, though. I hate John. If John Jones is out for 8 months or more, I hate that he's keeping the belt. Let's relinquish the belt. Look at the light heavyweights. Take some notes, dog. You'll come back and get it. Who are you worried that's gonna like? Why would you not? You're gonna come back and get it no matter what. So just leave it up. I hate the little interim championship that they're doing. I think that's so dumb. It makes no sense. I mean, that's one thing I'm just like, what are we doing? Who cares? Like, just have them fight. If you're gonna have them fight, we're really just trying to sell tickets and build it up at this point by saying it's an interim championship. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about that. With that being said, I think Tom Aspinall is about to get absolutely knocked out.
Really?
Badly. This is going to be the first time we ever see Tom Aspinall say, "Oh my goodness, this guy's in over his head."
You believe in White Ngannou that much? That being Pavlovich, they call him the White Ngannou. I don't know if you know that.
No, they don't, dog. I'm telling you, I'm one more away from hanging up. I'm not listening to this bum anymore.
They call him the White Ngannou. I'm not even joking. Pavlovich is scary. I'm in agreement with you, Trey. I think Pavlovich is that good. I'm picking Pavlovich to win as well.
Which goes all the way back to when he fought Derek, when you did call it. And what did I say after that fight?
Oh, thanks, Trey. Hey. For giving me credit.
I said, hey, listen. This guy might be the scariest heavyweight in the division right now. This guy has the heaviest hands in the division. You didn't know that. I told you about that. This guy has the heaviest hands in the. I've been saying it. This guy's hilarious.
I literally been saying it.
Now that I told you.
Oh. I've been saying Pavlovich for a minute. CP, thank you for subscribing. The White Ngannou is a force to be reckoned with.
Nobody, stop. No, because he don't lose. Sergey actually wins. Okay,
he's lost before, but why are you picking Pavlovich versus Aspinall? Is it just a heavy hands? What?
I think he has the heaviest hands. I think they're like skill wise. I think they're about on the same plane. So then it just goes the heaviest hands for me. Honestly, I think Tom's still young in the sport. Like, he still is like a little like scared sometimes. He don't know when to push. And then sometimes I think he pushes at the wrong times. But with that being said, he's an absolute dog. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a stud. But Sergey's just that good. He just seems like a seasoned vet. Like, it's his time. He's on a run. Plus, Tom coming back from the injury. I don't know. Is he 100% now? Is he definitely good to go?
So what I believe would happen, I'm hoping at least. Tell me if you love this idea or hate it. I at this point think the Stipe match should just be forgotten about. I don't want to see Stipe and Jones ever again. What I want to see is the winner of Pavlovich or Aspinall. Let's say we're both wrong and Aspinall wins. I don't care. Winner of Aspinall and White Ngannou, they face John Jones. Do you like that idea or do you hate it?
Does it not feel like that's what they're doing? I feel like that's what they're doing.
Dana White said that Stipe's still going to get the shot afterwards, which I hate.
But next?
Yes, next against John Jones. And John Jones doesn't really look that adamant or curious to fight Aspinall or Pavlovich. Because I guess in John Jones' mind, that does nothing for his career.
Well,
I would disagree.
Let's be real. Do they deserve the title shot next?
I mean, who else would you put in front of them? Stipe?
Yeah.
Stipe hasn't fought in like 3 years.
His last fight right here.
It's a horrible fight. I'd rather have Aspinall and Pavlovich.
Okay, so what do we do, Miller? So what do we do?
Winner fights John Jones.
All right, listen. So Tom or Sergey win. They fight John Jones. John Jones wins. Does he fight Stipe now next year? Does anybody want to see that then? Then it's really gone.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for. I mean, it happens in divisions all the time.
Then you're gonna be no, because then you're gonna be saying, well, I mean, Stipe hasn't fought in 4 years. Nobody really.
I think that fight nobody really cares about anyways. And I think Dana might be putting too much emphasis on Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Most kids don't know that anymore. He's not that guy. He was popular in like 2009.
I'll rank him for you. This is how they would be ranked.
Okay.
John Jones and Sergey would be the number one. Agreed?
As far as fights to make,
Listen. Out of the 3 guys, that would be number one. Most like, I would want to see that the most.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Then, to me, if I'm just being real, Stipe's number 2. Because I honestly, do you really think Tom has a chance? I don't. And I don't think he deserves the title shot. And I don't think that he has the skill to beat him. There's just no reason for that one.
If he beats,
so then I like Stipe because Stipe has the name, Stipe has the legacy. There is some weight to it.
You don't think that changes though? Like if Aspinall beats Pavlovich, then it's like, oh, this guy has a chance. He beat Sergey. Let's see it happen. That's what I'm saying. I just want to see the winner of the interim fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Fight for the title.
But you're telling me whoever wins that fight is the most deserving of the.
That's available right now, 100%. I don't think Stipe is that deserving. I know he's like the greatest heavyweight of all time. Hasn't been active.
How do you feel about them having that fight, and whoever wins that fight fights Stipe, and whoever wins that fight fights John?
I'm not too mad about that. It sucks because then John Jones is on the shelf for a while, so there's that problem.
He's on the shelf for a while. We got 8 months to work with.
That's true. It's weird that Stipe didn't really want to fight the replacement for John Jones because that was, according to the news out there, Stipe didn't want to just fight one of those two.
But then he came out on his OnlyFans. Can you believe that? Stipe has an OnlyFans. You thought we would ever say that?
Out of all people, I would assume you would know that. So yes, I guess.
Well, I'm just a fan of the sport and actually pay attention to it. Yours is a little fanboy, fair weather, everyday Saturday and Monday guy. But anyways, he said on his OnlyFans that they didn't offer him the fight. He said the UFC never offered him that fight.
That's a good point. I mean, that's what the UFC does. Look, they made Ngannou look scared when he wasn't. Miller, question: do you think Francis has better defense than Wilder? I would say yes. He did a great job of defending. I don't want to that's an easy question actually. Yes, 100%. Now, back to the Pavlovich Aspinall. I'm not mad at that. Are you suggesting that just because, or like, would you prefer that winner of Aspinall and Pavlovich fight Stipe?
I mean, if whoever, bro, I think Stipe deserves the title shot more than Tom Aspinall. Period. I think, honestly.
What about Pavlovich? Same thing.
I think he deserves it just slightly more than Pavlovich. So if I had to choose one of them, I'm like, hey, let him fight. Let's get Stipe knocked out because I think Sergey would knock him out probably. I just don't see Stipe being competitive in any way. Like, I just don't see that happening.
So I guess in the best of all possible worlds, are you saying, I think this is what you're saying, let Aspinall fight Pavlovich, winner waits a little bit and Stipe still gets a shot, and then after John Jones beats Stipe, John Jones fights one of the two, Aspinall or Pavlovich. Are you saying that's the best possible outcome?
No, I'm saying best possible outcome. Sergey wins the fight against Tom Aspinall. John Jones fights Stipe. John Jones fights Sergey.
That's literally what I just said. But okay, yeah, that's yeah.
Well, I don't listen to you. You start talking dumb, so I kind of tune it out usually.
I'm not mad at that, but let's quickly jump
But
into one more topic.
You said Sergey and Stipe fight to see who fights.
I thought that's what you were suggesting. I'd rather see Pavlovich versus the winner.
No, I'm saying
Pavlovich versus Jones.
I'm saying Sergey beats Tom. John Jones fights Sergey or Stipe.
Okay.
And then fights the other one. John Jones fights the other one also.
Let's just play around with this one. Hypothetically, Sergey beats Aspinall, or vice versa. You could go the other way too. Do any of these two guys beat John Jones? Is my question to you.
Absolutely not. And it wouldn't even be close.
This guy, man.
It would be the same thing we saw Cyril Gane do. Just go in there and get absolutely walked down and just pinned up. That's what I don't think people actually understand. John Jones is the best fighter in UFC history. He's the most skilled, most consistent, like fluent fighter in UFC history. And nobody wants to give him credit right now because he's been fighting outside of the octagon with his wife. But he's the best one ever. I get it. He did some cocaine, whatever, and he still whooped the dudes, though. This guy, like, there's so many levels above him in the heavyweight. That's why I think he went to heavyweight. Because light heavyweight is getting good. Light heavyweight is getting close. It's getting close. It's not there yet. Getting close to being the best division in the UFC. But that's why I think he went to heavyweight. Heavyweight, I mean, is there anybody in there that, besides Sergey, that you think really has a shot? Like, honestly, I think Tom has, like, no shot. Like, first round, whatever. Submission or KO.
Yeah.
Sergey, I could see him going 2 or 3 rounds. That's it.
Yeah. Tom Aspinall, I get what you're saying. It almost that feeling that even if Aspinall beats Pavlovich, he's too wet behind the ears. For him to beat John Jones, I don't feel he has that experience enough. John Jones is going to be just crafty in there. Pavlovich gives me a little bit more confidence. But the thing with John Jones in the heavyweight division is I'm not too confident whether he's that good at the division. We haven't seen him get taking a punch because the Gane thing was just a quick submission. I'm not that high on John Jones being great in the heavyweight division. He got 1 or 2 fights max. But if he stays there for 3, I don't see him winning 3 fights in the heavyweight division. So I mean, I'm not that high on John Jones.
Absolutely crazy, bro. I mean, that is a out there take. I promise.
I don't think so.
You don't see John Jones winning his next 3 fights, and who is beating him, bro? Who?
The White and Ngannou.
Sergey. That's the only dude you think can beat him in heavyweight?
I mean, you make a decent point. It's tough because besides him, Aspinall's a tough one. Stipe, no chance. So if he gets past Pavlovich, I guess he's sealed. He's good. Do you think he even fights 3 more times in the UFC is another question too. He might fight Stipe and then ride off into the sunset.
I think he has at least 3 fights left. What? Didn't he sign a new contract? Don't he have a contract?
For like 8 fights.
That's what I'm saying. So what are we talking about? He ain't going nowhere.
But he might retire.
Listen, I get it. He's a little older. He's been out for like 3-4 years. So, I mean, it ain't like he's been taking damage.
Yeah, I don't know how his body's going to adjust fighting at heavyweight and taking punches. I'm intrigued. That Cyril Gane fight was a huge, massive disappointment because we don't know. Now, if Pavlovich connects.
He absolutely bullied him.
Now, if Pavlovich connects, a.k.a. the White and Ngannou, I'll be very curious to see how John Jones does. And then in the main event of UFC 295, our last topic before we get out of here, Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Last topic, guys, of the day. Sorry that I didn't really chat that much. We're just having a good back and forth, but I read every message, so I'll make sure to do that on the next stream. We're going to try to do one this Thursday like we did last week. The numbers do great when Trey's not here, so I apologize for having him here, but he's here.
Got it.
Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira. Trey Melton. I have no idea who he's going to pick.
I went first on every single take. I want you to go first on this one because I just have a feeling. Just go ahead. Just go.
Okay. Can I be honest?
I just have a feeling of who you're gonna pick.
Can I think out loud? I'll be honest. I don't have a pick, and I'm gonna figure it out right now. I'm gonna do a little bit of MMA math in my head. All right.
Break it down.
Gun to my head. Make a pick, and I'm just, I didn't think about this.
We know he doesn't value his life when they have guns to his head, so let's keep that in mind.
It's a good one. Good timing. I like that one. Gun to my head. Jiri, Alex Pereira. Oh crap, you got a minute. All right. Alex Pereira, he got knocked out by Adesanya, but he has been drained. At middleweight at 170, he did look decent against Jan Blachowicz. Great power. Now, who is he fighting? He's fighting Jiri. Jiri, strong. He scares me a little bit too if he connects on Pereira. The problem with him is that he also leaves himself open. Pereira has shown that he could defend takedowns. Jiri has been shown that he is strong, but he's coming off a really bad shoulder injury. With all that information, gun to my head, I think I have to go with Alex Pereira.
Oh my gosh.
I think I have to. We don't know how Jiri's coming back. And Pereira going up in weight, that might be the best thing for him. Going up to 205 at light heavyweight, that'll be great.
Clap for yourself right now. You deserve this one. Clap for yourself. Go ahead. Hit your little button.
I mean, this
hit
is what
hit your little button.
You hear it?
This is what I don't know if Drew's watching right now, but I really hope he is because this is what I have been telling him since the first.
Oh, he thinks Jiri's gonna win?
Listen, he's the biggest Jiri fan I've ever seen in my entire life. He's been slurping him since he's been in the UFC. That's his guy. That's his Bryce Mitchell. Okay, that's his guy. It's bad.
All right. Well, at least you're honest about that. You slurp Bryce Mitchell.
Okay, that's not what I was saying.
That's exactly what you just said. Wow. Way to throw yourself out there. That's crazy.
All right, listen to me.
Wow, this guy's open about it. That's great.
Anyways,
I'm happy for you, Trey. I'm happy for you.
My woman. Anyways, I've been telling Drew this since I've seen him fight, and I've watched every fight from Jiri because Drew, obviously a fanboy of him, so anytime he's fighting, we're tuned in. Jiri leaves. Listen to this comparison I'm about to tell you. Jiri leaves his chin out worse than Patty the Batty does, and that's bad. And that's like open, like 24 hours 7. I mean, it's 7-Eleven out here for real. I think Alex Pereira is going to go in there. It's going to be the heaviest hands that Jiri's ever faced. It's going to be one of the scariest guys that Jiri's ever faced. And he's going to go in there and get absolutely knocked out by Alex Pereira. Jiri leaves his chin open worse than anybody I have ever seen in my entire life. And listen, he's going to get caught by Alex. Alex doesn't not land. Even in the Izzy fight, he was landing in that fight. A couple times we was like, whoa, he's landing. So that's a given. And with Jiri being that open, it is going to be a field day. It's going to be like throwing darts, the way his hands are just thunk, thunk. It's going to be bad. And I think Jiri is going to get absolutely destroyed. I don't even think he should be coming back yet. Isn't this just crazy, terrible injury that he shouldn't, like he rushed back and all this stuff? And then, was he that good? I mean, he beat Reyes with a crazy finish, which was like Reyes looks awful. Even after his fight after that, he looked like just a shell of who he was. He's never been the same fighter since he fought John Jones.
He beat Glover in the closing seconds.
Beat Glover in the closing seconds, and Glover was winning that fight. Glover was going to win that fight, and he sneaks it in because Glover is 63 years old and just doesn't have the stamina anymore.
Right.
I think it's going to be bad. I really do think it's gonna be bad. I think Alex is gonna knock him out so bad, like very badly. And
And it's
honestly, listen, honestly, I don't know if we'll ever see Yuri go on the run he was on to begin with ever again. He might not ever hold the belt again.
he leaves himself open. That chin is there to be touched. I'm a little bit worried for Hiri. I was a big Hiri fan as well too, but oh, you missed a lot, Drew. You got to rewind a little bit around the part that Trey mentions Bryce Mitchell and you'll see what I mean by that. Which is hilarious. Um, Trey, I mean, we started off this show pretty rough, but I'll be
I'm
honest.
proud of you.
I'll be honest. We're on the same page.
You know what's crazy?
We
I sit in here every single week and I talk and I do my 5 minute spills and I just lay down absolute knowledge and I look at you and I'm like, this guy's not taking anything in. But I'm proud of you. You finally took something in. You finally learned a little bit about the fight game.
Listen, and that was freestyling. I honestly didn't have a pick until now because people wanted to talk about it. But the fact remains, Harry's chin is there to be touched. Alex Pereira is going to be full and comfortable at 205. Harry's coming off a horrible injury. And what a beautiful story for Pereira to go from kickboxing and chase Adesanya down, beat him in the UFC as well too. Not to go up to 205, become a double champ, or to attain at least a second belt. Beautiful story. He'll become the 5th Brazilian light heavyweight champion. And Harry just, in a sense, coming off the couch. He's been hurt. According to Dana, was the worst shoulder injury that he's ever seen. Yeah. With all that being said, I mean, I wonder what the betting odds will be. But I gotta go with Alex Pereira. So we're in agreement too. We had one more request to talk about Leon and Colby. We talked about this in the last stream, City. I will quickly tell you that my pick is Leon and Trey's pick is Colby. We'll debate that some more next week because there's plenty to talk about on that one, City. So thank you for asking. I believe Leon is gonna stop the takedowns. Just to give you a quick brief breakdown, I think Leon is gonna stop the takedowns. I'll strike Colby, perhaps win by knockout. Trey thinks Colby's gonna nut hug Leon for 5 rounds and win a decision, probably something along those lines.
Not what I said at all, but anyway.
but any closing thoughts, Trey? Because we've been live for a while. Thank you for coming on as always, Trey. All jokes aside, it has been a fun stream. We went off on that Ngannou versus Fury topic.
I mean, that is the dumbest. Like, you are crazy, bro. And the fact that people would even glorify a loss and be hyping him up makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. But look, he doesn't control my emotions, so I'm not gonna get pissed off and start yelling again. Because I see all you little fanboys talking about, oh, he's mad, he's big man. Shut up, dog. You don't know. You don't know anything about the fights. I could care less about this dude. I'm just letting you know how big of a bum this is. Anyways, hey, I'm the king. I'm the source. I'm the one who gets it done. I'm Mr. Intel. I did it again, baby. The numbers were high because I was in here once again. Miller's channel has been revived from what I built it into after the short dip where it was just dead. Horrible takes after horrible takes. And all you had to do was sit here and listen to that little cornball sitting right there. Or sitting, standing. I mean, we have no idea. We have no idea if he's sitting or standing ever. Y'all got to ask him after I leave. Hey, I'm the source. I'm the king. I'm the one who gets it done. I'm Mr. Intel. I'm out of here. I did it once again, baby. We gone.
And there you have it, guys. The #1 commentary channel on YouTube. Probably the best show as far as a 1v1 debate on fighting. Trey Melton, thank you for coming on, as you always do. We're thankful that he's back because when he left, the numbers just skyrocketed, guys. We just been growing exponentially. When he left, we were at like 4,000 subscribers. I was stuck. I couldn't get 4,001. I was just stuck. As soon as we let Trey go, the numbers just went up, and we were gracious enough to bring him back. And I know that's despite people not wanting him back. So thank you, chat. Francis Ngannou gets the job done. Pavlovich versus Aspinall will be fighting each other. UFC 295 is around the corner. We have UFC Fight Night this weekend. So we'll try to cover that as far as live. Guys, thank you for the ongoing support. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. For those that came this morning, thank you guys so much. The viewership was crazy this morning, and it was great right now. Any trending topics that you guys want to talk about, feel free to let me know and we'll cover it in the next one. Nut Hug plugs Drew with the crying face. You got to go back, Drew, and see what he said about you and Hiri. Risky or Ricky says Trey is awesome, hilarious. We had a good time. Pereira being involved in 3 title fights in 2 different weight classes in 7 UFC fights is crazy. It's unprecedented. It's incredible what he has done, and if he wins at 205 against Hiri, he kind of avenges the loss of Glover. Trey wouldn't give you that inside scoop. He barely knows who Hiri is, so again, that's why we're here. But yes, Glover loses to Hiri Prohaska if Pereira steps in and knocks him out cold, which I feel that he has a very good chance of doing. That's one for the history books. Incredible. Guys, we'll try to be here Thursday. We did a tier list for fights to make in 2024 last Thursday. People love that. We're going to try to do something along those lines this Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you to all my members. You guys helped me grow this channel, and you guys have been amazing. If you want to become a member, it helps the channel out immensely. I think it's like $2.99 or $4.99, something like that. It helps me out monetarily. Thank